So the seller called in earlier to get an offer, and the first thing I always ask is, why are you selling? Because that motivation matters. This lady was selling her house because her brother moved his girlfriend in, and she keeps 7 dead guinea pigs in the freezer. And the seller said, I'm sick of moving a pile of damn dead guinea pigs every time I want a fucking popsicle. And that was why she wanted to sell. She ended up wanting more than I could pay for it, though. So I just sent it to Plutus Leads, sold that thing to an agent, and made $150.
Heck yeah.
Pretty cool.
Right? How much do you think that lead cost to you?
125, I think, is what I paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So recouped a whole lot of my marketing money, and that agent didn't complain, so I'd assume they got the listing.
Good deal.
Good deal for everybody.
I agree.
Guys, bury your guinea pigs.
Ponzi Scheme Friday.
Ponzi Scheme Friday. Is today Friday?
Yeah, today's Friday.
Okay. I don't know that this is a Ponzi scheme per se.
I love a good fraud story.
I just like the crazy scams because it's,
Yeah, I love them.
again, it's very easy in real estate to decide to be a terrible human being and just say, fuck ethics. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do and get that money.
All you have to do is lie.
That's all you have to do. You just make shit up.
If you want to get rich in real estate,
Yeah.
you just fraud
Just
and
make
lie.
shit up. That's all you got to do.
That's all you have to do.
That's it.
Falsifying documents helps.
Falsifying documents.
But
is
not
bad.
necessary.
It's, I mean, but it
It's not
definitely
necessary,
helps.
but it greatly shoots your success
Yeah.
monetarily.
You're going to make so much more money before
Yeah.
you go to big boy prison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, if you just lie with fraud and you deceive and you're, just unethical, like that'll get you a lot of money, but only for so long.
Yeah.
But if you want to make like a lot of money fast, you actually just make fraudulent documents.
Well, like you can just be like, yeah, I own this farm. Look, here's a
Look.
document that says it's mine.
Yeah.
I will. You know what? It's worth 1.2 million. I'll take 300,000 right now. And then there you go.
You want to hear the greatest idea I've ever had? Nobody told me.
Okay.
I don't think I should even share it,
I'm a little worried that you are.
but I'm going to.
All right.
Okay, so LLCs fall out all of the time.
Yeah.
We've both been to a lot of title companies. They're not the smartest of people. They do a good job. Some don't. Okay, so now what if I just went and looked up? Because this is super easy. It's all database. What if I just went and looked up? I don't know. What's a shitty state? Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay, Arkansas. So I just went and looked up like all the properties, right? Just had a database, scrub it, and then saw all the owners of it. Well, tons of LLCs are going to pop up, right?
Yes.
Now, if I just match the LLCs to ones that were not registered anymore. So now I could just register those LLCs, sell those properties. What's to stop? What's to stop anybody from doing that?
Getting caught down the road.
Yes,
Yeah.
getting caught down the road, but you're the LLC owner. LLC owns the property, right?
So then the old LLC owner would have to dispute that. And they would have to be
I
the
wonder
one-
if it's even civil with how lazy cops are.
It has to be fucking civil.
You would think it'd be criminal because you never bought the property.
That's true.
The LLC did.
Yeah.
And then you own the LLC. So it may be. But I'm just saying. I don't like the look on your face.
Well, because I'm just a little concerned that we're, I don't want to get into this. Hey, here's some other crazy gray area unethical shit that you should try.
I've never said that people should try it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's like
it's a thing you could do.
I was at a title company one
Yeah.
day and I was signing on behalf of an LLC and it just kind of came to my head. And I'm like, you know what? Like LLCs fall out of grace. But as LLCs fall out of grace, sometimes they still own property. I mean, I'm not saying always, but they definitely do.
I feel like there's other ways to make money that are going to be a lot less work.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot. It's not a little amount of work.
It's a lot.
However, like especially with how easy data is obtained now,
Yeah, it's true.
like you would think like any 20-year-old nerd with a scraper, could do this,
Yeah.
and then you can generate LLCs for whatever $100 to have the exact same name. So,
Pro tip.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody gets, arrested or goes to prison for that, I hold absolutely no liability. I mean,
I mean, you're just the one that gave them the idea
I just
and
gave
told them
them
to
the
do
idea.
it. You just told them step by step
And-
how to do it.
step by step how to do it. I mean, I could also tell people step by step how to I don't even
You're taking way too
I don't
long to
even
come
want
up
to
with
say
something fucked
I
up.
don't want to say anything fucked up is why to cheat on a math test. I could come up step by step for that.
I'm disappointed.
To how to
You could have said
how to
so many
speed.
things.
I don't want to say anything bad.
How to field dress a cat. You can't say that?
How to field dress a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the process before butchering. That's
Yeah.
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 You want to split them. You get a zipper knife and you take them from here straight down, and that's where you pull out all the innards, and then you hang them to drip, and that gets all the blood out. Never done it on a cat, but
Deer.
I would assume it's the same thing as on a deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same anatomy. Cat, deer. Same
Cat
thing.
deer, the exact same anatomy.
Exactly.
Genetic perfect match. There's no difference between a cat and a deer.
You can use the kidneys from a cat and a deer to save their life.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, kidney transplant.
Oh, God. That is... The world is a magical place. All right, so we got off in the weeds on butchering cats. So this one intrigues me, and it's one that's still actively kind of unfolding. I would say it's halfway finished, but I think there's more to it that's going to happen. All right, so Arthur Davenport says a broken furnace and burst pipes in the home he rented forced him to live without heat and running water, and he used a bucket as a toilet. Sharita Sanders' rental home exposed her children to more than 100 times the level of lead deemed safe, and she said there were rats and mold too. Another tenant describes backed up drains, possums falling through the ceiling, and janky wiring that ran up her electric bill to $700 a month. Behind all three stories is a tangle of corporations connected to one man, Burt Whalen. Burt Whalen looks like 500 guys I've seen before. He's in real estate, just kind of pudgy.
Burt Whalen?
Yeah. Herbert Burt Whalen, Whalen. Yeah. All right. So while many of his tenants say they struggled to survive in homes with sewage-filled basements, mold-caked interiors, and rotting floors, Whalen lived in a waterfront home in a fancy neighborhood once owned by the governor. It features indoor and outdoor pools, a marble foyer, and a private dock. And he also kept a 51-foot yacht in Florida that the manufacturer describes as superbly luxurious. All right.
Show the camera Burt Whalen. Is that Burt Whalen?
That's Bert.
All right. All right.
Bert's coming to get you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's too white.
Yeah, there he
Bert's
is.
too white.
He looks a little bit like Timu Elon Musk.
Maybe. He doesn't look 44.
He does not look 44.
He does not look 44.
It's a rough 44.
It is. Makes me feel really good about the way I look. All right, so old Mr. Whalen came under scrutiny in March after IndyStar reported about his partnership with ex-Fox and Friends host Clayton Morris. Investors have filed lawsuits against Morris of running a Ponzi scheme with Whalen's help. Together, they sold at least 700 homes in Indianapolis that Whalen's companies went on to manage, according to Morris and court records. Morris denies the fraud allegations and has said he merely referred investors to Whalen. He claimed he was not responsible for managing the properties. Is it that easy?
So what did they do?
It's getting there.
Okay.
This is like, there's a lot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love this shit.
Yeah. All right. So Whalen and his attorneys did not respond to multiple requests for comments. He previously denied any wrongdoing in connection with the Morris deals because they're each saying, well, it was his shit. And then he's saying, no, it's his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. An IndyStar investigation into Whalen's residential empire exposes a chronic problem in the city and state. Government officials at virtually every level have witnessed a parade of questionable investment schemes and negligent landlords since the housing crisis hit more than a decade ago. Yet, they have not only failed to adopt meaningful reform, they have maintained policies that have made the city an international magnet for such schemes. All right. So that state, they made sure to squash anything that came before them that would hold landlords accountable in any way, just making it to where, like, you just do what the fuck ever. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're not people. It just there's no rules. You don't have to protect the tenants. Just treat them like shit. All right. Wayland's companies appear to account for more code violations than any other landlord, an average of 2.5 per day in 2018. His properties have amassed nearly 1,800 code violations since 2015, racking up 700,000 in fines, more than 440,000 of which remain unpaid. His companies have also run up tens of thousands of dollars in delinquent taxes. Property values of neighboring homes are dragged down. Neglected houses are a drain on city services. Blah, 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 blah.
So let me interrupt you real quick. So this is interesting. So I was looking into it. It said Wayland ran what prosecutors, because I love good Ponzi scheme. Wayland ran what prosecutors described as a multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme in which he sold rundown homes to investors, many living out of Indiana, with a promise to fix them up and rent them out. In many cases, he failed to make the repairs. So right here, this is one that's interesting. This must be the property management side. It said he sent investors fake leases, a few months of rent money to dupe them into believing he was renting out the homes on their behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland sold many of the homes.
Yep.
So he was acting as a property manager.
Yep.
And just being like, hey, we got a tenant. Here's $3,000. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. And then he just sells the house.
Yeah.
So it's like a Ponzi scheme with extra steps.
It is. Yes.
I like it.
He got away with it for a minute.
I like it.
All right. So he was a real estate broker since 95. He had been hit with $744,000 judgment and a lawsuit over a deal. Racked up $2 million in debt from a lavish lifestyle. Lost his home, cars, jet
Rookie.
ski. Right. But he continued to buy and sell low-end homes. All right, so in 2015, this is when he connected with Mr. Morris from Fox News and Friends or whatever the fuck it was. And his business exploded. Morris's popular real estate podcast and YouTube channel fueled a massive pipeline of new investors eager to buy into the hot rental market. So, well, Mr. Fox and Friends Moneybags face guy came on board and then started pushing it to everyone that watched his stuff on TV. And they were like, well, that's a guy I've seen on TV. I'm sure he won't take advantage of me. Yeah, I'll buy a house with you. To meet the demand, Wayland began snatching up cheap properties at a frenzied pace. He bought them under company names such as Indy Jacks, Freeport Invest, various others. Those properties, mostly single-family homes and duplexes, are in some of the city's most troubled neighborhoods. The heaviest concentration spans an area between 38th and Washington. We don't need all that. The rapid growth of Wayland's business, supercharged by Morris, coincided with the growing number of investors' and tenants' complaints. Missing rent checks, unexpected code violations, promised repairs left undone, fake lease agreements, phone calls ignored. All right, so renters said that Wayland stuffed them into crumbling homes. Some were referred by word of mouth, others recruited by Craigslist. They had signed leases in store parking lots. Many tenants told the news they were deceived by cosmetic repairs, but then found out it had really big problems like no furnaces, no water meters, no electric lines running to the house. Do you think you'd flip a light switch when you walk in?
Right.
Well, the power's just turned off. You just got to turn it on at the city. I guess that would be the excuse.
I bet you what they would do is just take people's money and then be like, oh, like, sorry, the power's out.
Yeah.
And then just
and that's it.
Ghost them.
I mean, you're welcome to live here, but there's no power or water. So
there's no power. And then they would just turn and burn that, the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, our property on 123 Main Street, what we do with that one is just there's no power on it. We just get somebody to sign a lease in a parking lot for $2,000, and then when they find out there's no power on it, we just ghost them.
Yep.
And we just do it again.
One tenant told the reporter how a thin layer of cheap linoleum, why did it do that, covered a rotting hole in the floor, and she was afraid that her children were going to fall through it.
I like the possums falling from the ceiling.
Possums from the ceiling. There it is. Also, linoleum-covered rotting floors, that's really common.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, it's fine. You just don't step there.
Standard practice.
Yeah.
You just put a chair there.
Yeah. All right. Some tenants
Strategically.
said that they wanted to get out of the homes but felt trapped. Prior evictions, criminal records, bad credit, preventing them from going somewhere else. Others said they couldn't afford the additional deposit.
So here, let's pause
Yeah.
here because that's part of the scam.
Yes.
So reread the first sentence about
You're going after people that cannot qualify to
yes,
rent
they
anything.
can't qualify to rent
Bad
anything. So
credit.
it's like, hey, can you come up with $1,000 though?
That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Just come up with $1,000
And then
and we'll
just
take
what are you
it.
gonna do? Meanwhile, tenants say Wayland's company took a hard line on collecting rent. They were quick to boot residents for late payments or attempting to withhold rent until problems were fixed. Some tenants even reported collection visits from a leasing agent with a handgun strapped to his hip. Complaints were addressed with much less enthusiasm, according to the interviews. They're really digging into the tenants. Health inspectors got on him. Flooded basements, rotting floors, window frames that you could just poke your finger through, ceilings falling in, rodent infestation, moldy walls, holes in the foundation, bed bugs, spiders. Literally every horrible thing that can happen to a house. This guy was just snatching them up,
Yeah.
taking investors' money, saying, we're going to flip it, and then finding some poor person who has a criminal record and saying, you're going to live there and you're going to love it, and then just taking both people's money and then moving on to the next one.
It's selling it even.
Sometimes selling it.
That's
Sometimes,
what's wild.
Yeah.
Selling
Sometimes just leaving an
them is wild.
I wish I got into numbers. Like, okay, so the ones that he sold. Because I would love the breakdown of, okay, how much did you pay for it? How much did you get from this investor? How much did you get from the tenant? And then how much did you sell it for?
Yeah.
Just to fully understand. Because that's a lot of steps.
So they would get money from the investor.
Yes.
So they would own it, whatever, free and clear, right?
Yep.
And then they would sell it, not pay the investor back, and get all the money.
And that money, okay, yeah.
And the money from tenants in the meantime.
Yep.
So it's a triple income stream.
All right, so this tenant paid $550 a month for a house he managed. What no one told her is that it had been abandoned for 8 years and there weren't any electrical lines running in the house. There was no wiring. You don't need it.
You don't need wiring.
People lived without electricity for almost ever.
For millions of years.
Shut up. God.
The
candles.
electricity is pretty new. when
Does
you
it have
really
a
think about
fireplace?
it.
Just build a fire and light a candle and shut up about it.
Exactly.
These people. All right.
Babies.
So she won a $2,600 judgment against the company. There was no furnace. The roof leaked. This is the same house where possums fell through the ceiling into the kitchen, running rampant through the house and devouring her food. Now, what do you know about possums?
I know that possums love to eat ramen.
I know that, okay, well, possums, they'll eat anything. They also love to eat ticks. Possums also, they're not that fast.
Nah.
And they play possum. So I don't understand how they could run rampant eating your food. You could literally just pick them up and throw them out the damn door. It's not a raccoon. It's not going to rip your face off.
Are they not aggressive?
No, they open their mouth and show pointy teeth, but that's it.
They just stay open
And
anyway.
they freeze.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you could even put your finger in a possum's mouth. It's
just
not
like-
going to do anything. All right.
I bet they love poor people food. Like,
No, they love everything.
I love poor people food, like Pop-Tarts, ramen,
Yeah.
Kool-Aid powder,
Yeah.
right? All of those things.
It's a little dark. It's fine. Here's another one. Moved into one of the rental homes. No electricity. Okay. She says the grass was 2 feet high. That's on you. You're the tenant. Cut your grass.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The grass was tall.
Black mold throughout. An electrician refused to even go in her attic because it was full of mold. She complained. Employees left a bottle of mold spray on the doorstep. Shit.
I had a tenant one time. You're just talking about high grass, right? And it wasn't outlined in the lease who was supposed to mow the grass or not, but they sent a text, and it was like a full grown like golden retriever. This was like their context picture, and like it was like up to like his chest of just like And you know when grass like grows so long, it starts like
turns
sprouting
into
weird
hay.
things.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's literally what it looked like.
Yeah.
And then it was up to his chest, and they're like, "Look, this is how tall the grass is." I'm like, "Damn, this is some tall grass."
Probably cut that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so when she tried to get out of the lease, she was told she would have to pay $7,800 to break the lease.
That's wild.
I don't think this is the one. She didn't say the numbers of what she paid per month. Couldn't have been $2,000. Eventually, the company moved her to another home. Another one said that her furnace smoked. Her toddler-aged grandson's foot broke through the rotten bathroom floor, and her roof leaked constantly. And she had just undergone surgery for cancer, and the ceiling was caving in as the ceiling caved in on her as she slept. This is a direct quote from the tenant who the ceiling crashed on. I was like, "Oh, what was that?" That's what I would say if the ceiling fell on me. That's it. That's it.
Look at that possum.
Oh, what was that?
Is it in quotes?
Yes.
Oh, look at there.
I was half asleep, but then I realized what happened because it was pouring down rain, she said. I got up and called Ocean Point, and they was telling me no one can come out, there's nothing we can do. Another one filed a lawsuit because her son was walking through the house one day when a portion of the ceiling fell and struck him in the head.
Holy cow.
Why are so many ceilings caving in on these houses?
Right? Wet insulation.
That's just
moldy pieces of sheetrock.
They just all had
little
bad
moldy sheetrock bombs.
even okay. Let's say that you wanted to be this level of slumlord. Wouldn't you at least fix the roof? I would. That's because everything else, whatever. But like water will fuck a house up. So you wouldn't even just fix the roof, just to
Wouldn't
keep the
even
water
fix
out.
your own roof.
It's like, anyways. All right, so this one, kid got hit by a falling ceiling. The company denied the allegation, and the case is still pending.
So the kid got hit with a falling ceiling?
Yeah, like the kid was walking down the hall.
They're
and
just
the ceiling
mold bombs.
and the ceiling just fell on the kid's head.
Mold bombs. That's
Yeah.
what they're going to be known as.
Here's the next chapter. Another ceiling collapsed, according to the lawsuit, burying her teenage son while he slept. We could hear my son mumbling for help underneath all the rubble. He had lower back injuries, bruising, and debris inflamed his asthma. No shit, it did. There's nothing healthy in that debris. Injuries prevented him from returning to the basketball team at his high schools. Family also claimed suffered without heat for much of the winter, sometimes sleeping in their van to stay warm. The stress, according to the lawsuit, led her daughter to giving premature birth to the baby who died.
Holy shit.
Again, they just denied the allegations and the case is pending.
Yeah. So this is all relatively new stuff then?
Ish.
Yeah.
So this started in like 2018 is
Yeah.
when this came to light.
and he just got sentenced, what, like 41 months, I think, or something like that.
You're interrupting the story. You always do this shit. You always like want to jump ahead because you're impatient.
Yeah, I
and
just
then you
want to
wanna
know.
skip. I'm enjoying
I just
going
wanna know what
bit
happens.
by bit. I know you do.
So it's a new or not new?
I just fucking said it was in 2018 and it's 2025. Do the math.
That's not new.
No, that's 7 years ago is when it started. And this is, I'm done talking to you.
This is not
You don't
new
get
at
to
all.
talk anymore. All right, another one. Found lead paint, dust levels 100 times what was considered safe. Her children tested positive for lead poisoning. Another lawsuit. Another, nuh-uh. Oh, this one actually does. A judge ruled last year that she had not incurred any medical expenses, and Sanders remains upset about the decision. Let's see. All right. So now let's get into Mr. Clayton Morris. So if you'll remember, he's the Fox and Friends guy that left in 2017. And all right.
So is this Fox like the news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I recognize his stupid face.
Let me see him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Don't fuck with it because that thing loves to go back to the top.
Let's see.
There he is.
Looks like a trusting guy.
I mean, he's wearing a suit.
Yeah. He's wearing a cheap suit. I mean, we should trust him.
All right, so in January 2018, the state permanently revoked Whalen's real estate license, and regulators found he failed to reveal several arrests on a license renewal application, including 3 convictions, multiple DUIs, whatever. Who doesn't have a DUI in this day and age? You know what I mean? I don't. You have 2. As investors and tenants began to sue, Morris and Whalen pointed fingers at one another. They severed their relationship in May of 2018. Morris declined an interview request.
You mean 2 crooks like blamed each other?
Yeah. No, it was him. No, it was him.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on TV. He's not.
Yeah, that's probably
The sad thing is it kind of fucking worked for him. The boy didn't get in trouble.
Holy shit.
I broke my own rule. I'm sitting here telling you the end,
Yeah.
giving you what you want after I said I wasn't gonna.
Tell me the ending.
All right, so despite parting ways, Whalen continued to manage hundreds of properties and buy up more. They couldn't take full count of that. He doesn't own any property in his own name. He has at least 10 different companies. They also encouraged passive out-of-state investors to set their LLCs and used a post office box as the address of record. Yeah, trauma. Okay.
Yeah, say fake addresses.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's some examples of the investors that he screwed. All right, so this one, San Diego investor, bought up hundreds of properties, many from the county, and quickly ran up millions of dollars in code violations. Okay, so I got confused here. Obvious problem. The city's broken tax sale system allows out-of-state investors to swoop in and snatch up large numbers of cheap properties, then rent them out while they decay and collect code violations. And then examples of this, these are other people who were slimy as shit.
Yeah.
Like this one, yeah. All right, so those are examples of other people who were slimy. Some of the properties from these schemes later ended up being owned by Whalen's company, proof of the problem's cyclical nature. All right, so the first one, the one that owned hundreds of them, he was offloading his hundreds of properties amid disputed accusations that it defrauded investors. Whalen signed a $2 million contract to purchase about 100 homes. The broker selling them told the news that the properties represented the bottom of the barrel of his dilapidated portfolio. So this is the 100 worst houses this guy bought, and all he did was buy bad houses.
Yeah.
And Whalen bought those and then immediately threw tenants on them. All right, so that guy, that slumlord, they are now also suing Whalen, saying he collected rent and changed locks on homes even though he never paid for some of them. So he paid for some of them, but he didn't pay for all of them.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
I would say so.
It's
That's how you get everything civil. Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
If something's blatantly criminal,
Well,
but if it's criminal with a gray line, it just means, hey, I just did a little bit of things right.
yeah,
The bulk of it can be wrong.
I'm just really pissed because I really want the numbers breakdown on a lot of these situations. I just want,
Yeah,
because
like
it's not enough for me to fully understand.
it's like
I get
they bought it for 20,000, sold
Yeah.
it for 80 times 100, right?
All right, so Whalen sold. All right, so that slumlord sold Whalen more than 430 homes and vacant lots and 3 surplus property auctions from 2017 to 2018, making him the county's largest buyer. Surplus properties are so undesirable that the county was unable to sell them for the delinquent taxes owed on them. Such properties are sold often for just a few $100s at auctions typically held 2 or 3 times a year. Whalen's purchases revealed how a lucrative real estate investment scheme can be funded on a shoestring budget in Indianapolis. Whalen paid the county just $230,000, less than the average price of 2 single-family homes in Indianapolis, with Morris's help. He then sold some of those that were vacant lots to investors for nearly $70,000. Why was a vacant lot going for $70,000?
Sounds like a little bit of negligence on the investors.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
listen, those numbers.
So I wonder if he'd already sold them like stuff in the past that had worked, built up confidence.
Or what if he told him that it was a house and it was just dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3-2.
Yeah.
I've already got a tenant in place. 70 grand is yours.
70 grand. Yeah, I already got a tenant.
All right, so this guy warned city and county officials that Whalen's properties had become a plague in his neighborhood. Emails show he questioned why Whalen was allowed to continue purchasing properties from the county despite his companies facing lawsuits and recent tax delinquencies. And he's not wrong. Like, why are they continuing to let this guy buy them while they're also just slapping him with code violations? So he had over $500,000 in code violations and taxes that he hadn't paid. And they're like, yeah, you can buy another 20 houses from us.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? Government? Oh. There is not a city official who does not know about the problem. But there is a lot of them who have done not a damn thing. I like him. County continued to sell to him. Indiana code requires buyers to sign a statement affirming they don't owe delinquent taxes or liens from buildings or health code violations. This would have made Whalen ineligible to bid, but for a glaring loophole. At the time of a 2018 auction, his company Ocean Point had more than 60 parcels with delinquent taxes and nuisance liens totaling about 80 grand, making the company ineligible to bid. So Whalen signed up as a bidder under a new company name. That's where all the companies come into play. Yeah, okay. All right, so this one he created weeks before the auction, and it has the exact same address as the other one with all the fucking liens. Corporate documents also show Whalen's email address as the point of contact. Even though the treasurer's office knew Whalen was behind the new company, he was permitted to purchase 27 surplus properties for $21,700. Pretty good deal.
This guy's committed.
The treasurer's office said it had no choice under state law.
Probably.
Judy Jessup, an assistant, said the office could not ban Whalen from bidding on behalf of Indy Jacks because neither he personally nor Indy Jacks owed any back taxes. So just because...
Different entity. It's a whole nother person.
Okay.
Yep.
He also benefited from the city's oversight of the homes his companies rented out. The city's system for tracking problem landlords is inadequate. Neither of the two agencies responsible for issuing house codes violations could tell the news if Whalen was the city's biggest code violator. That means yes.
He was.
That means 100% yes, he was. Otherwise, they'd have been like, no, there's more people, but no.
No, he's the biggest.
Another tool that could have protected the renters, a city landlord registry created in 2015 is incomplete and ineffective. That's stupid. All right. After city officials cited Ocean Point investments for tall weeds, trash, and a collapsing roof in 2016, they discovered a loophole that allowed the company to escape the $500 penalty for failing to register the properties with the city.
Scams are so easy. You just have to be a psychopath and have no soul. And just willing to steal from the most desperate people.
Yep.
That's all that makes a good Ponzi scheme.
Okay. Yeah, you were right. So he was only sentenced to 41 months in prison. He was 50 at the time of sentencing. It took him 6 years between catching him and putting him in jail.
Yep.
He was sentenced Tuesday in federal court.
White collar crimes are so overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun to go after somebody for slinging on the street.
Yeah. Selling crack.
That war on drugs. They are winning. All right, so he pleaded guilty 3 years ago to one count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Is that it? Is that it?
Yeah, probably. One count. Wire fraud.
And he's free on bond.
So basically, Matt, if you make $10 million and you spend, 3 years in prison, I mean, you do the math.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah.
I mean,
What was that LLC thing you were talking about again? I'm gonna give that a shot.
yeah.
I wanted to find it because the problem with this is there's like 40 freaking news stories, but one of them that I read is after Waylon went to jail, Morris, which is the Fox and Friends guy, just fucking left America. Took his family and went to another country for like 5 years. And stayed there and kept hounding YouTube and investors and like trying to be that guy. But he's back in America now. And he never had charges brought against him. And I don't know how. They were partners in it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think they would at least like investigate that? Like, wouldn't you think?
Probably has friends.
Yeah.
Pays to have friends. I mean, that guy has a suit, full head of hair.
He has a suit.
And a full head of hair. The other guy looks like he's in his 60s. His name's Waylon.
While Morris was abroad, the federal grand jury in New Jersey indicted Waylon. Let's see. Okay, here's some more charges. The Attorney General's office also filed a complaint against both men for violating Indiana's deceptive sales and home loan acts and real estate deals involving more than 150 properties in Marion County. The case was paused pending the outcome of Waylon's criminal case. We have that outcome. So wouldn't you think that they would go back at him?
So they brought up charges on both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for that one instance.
Yeah.
And I would really hope and think that with some digging, they could find more from that guy being a slumlord piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think the real punishment here is you got to just strap him to a table and then just keep having roofs collapse on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just no. We're just gonna
And
keep
possums.
letting, yeah. What's it gonna be this time?
It's gonna be either a possum or a mold bomb.
Sheetrock, moldy insulation, and 20 possums.
Yep.
That's today's punishment. You got to do that for 4 months.
41 months.
41 months, every single day. We're going to spend a lot of money building these ceilings every day to just collapse on you. Okay, here's some numbers. So, yeah, this is the one that I was looking for because it goes more into the Ponzi scheme angle. So he convinced this Oregon-based investor to purchase 2 properties for $154,900, sign a property management agreement, then failed to fix up the properties as promised. Another California investor said he's relieved, but it took too long, and he'll never get his money back. It's better than nothing, said another investor who had the guy buy 7 houses for him to flip. It was the same scam over and over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, they're rented. Yeah, I fixed them up. They're great.
I fixed them up, rented them. Here's your money.
Wouldn't you ask for pictures at least? Wouldn't you just say, "Can I see it? Just give me a picture."
Just send other pictures. Google,
Yeah, because they've never seen it.
Google interior
Yeah.
pictures.
I don't
Then
know.
sell the house and give them their rent money and just keep the Ponzi scheme going.
And then just keep going forward.
Yeah. You just keep getting more and more money.
While living in your luxurious governor's mansion on the lake.
Because if I well, not me, but if someone, had you buy a house for $100,000, and then that person turns right back around, sells it for $100,000, they can pay you $1,500 a month for a very long time and use all of that, and then it's still the Ponzi scheme because then you can pretty much, get more people to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Buy them. Hey, you're going to get a great return on your investment, right? Oh, so you know what they were probably also doing? They were probably getting the rehab money
Yeah.
from the investor.
Well, this thing's a piece of shit. It's going to take $80,000 to get it turned.
Yeah.
So, you can buy it for 20, but it's going to take 80, so I'm going to need 100 from you.
Yep. And then they would sell it back for 20, or they would just put some money in it.
Throw a tenant in there for $500 a month.
Yeah. And then pay the investor, probably whatever, $1,200, $1,500. Hey, look, you're getting a good return on your investment. Ponzi schemes are so easy if you have no soul.
Well,
And if you're willing to do things right, probably 3% of the time. Because you'd be like, look, I run a business. It has an LLC
My
and a
partner's
P.O.
on
box.
Fox and Friends.
And it has a P.O. box.
It has a P.O. box. They don't just give those to anybody.
Yeah.
Those things are like $300 a year. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about how he got caught. There's so many news stories about it, and I was trudging through all of them. Never could get like a clear answer about what happened to actually get him discovered. I would assume it was just kind of one thing led to another, and then it just all came to fruition. There's so many good sad pictures of him once he got caught, though. It's great.
Ready to wrap this one up?
I mean,
Or we want to see how he got caught?
I was trying to look.
Sure, just enough people complained.
It's just so much of the same information. Oh shit, I gotta go get my kids. Sorry, 2:45.